Down to the rich man's house.
I took back.
I'm really excited to launch this book. You only get what you're organized to take, lessons from the movement to end poverty. To see in this moment how there's so much to learn from poor and dispossessed people organizing and what we all can be doing.
When you are having to move forward with the minimum means, you're having to make way out of no way. That involves a lot of brain power that poor folks in order to survive have. If you're talking about changing, the injustice and wrong in our society, it's got to be from the bottom up.
Actually, movement building, that organizing, is not just mobilizing bodies, it's about moving minds. And when we look at history and we look at movements, most effective movements are led by those that are most directly impacted by the problems that we're trying to solve.
I think the homeless union in the 80s and 90s, the most impactful moments was our synchronized housing takeovers.
Hello, everybody. This May Day is a time where people all over the United States are going to be taking houses.
So the housing takeover that the homeless union did tapped into what people were already doing and just gave it consciousness and gave it more organization.
You got to forget about it being against the law. I don't care. I'm dying in the streets. I think that should be against the law.
We deserve more. We deserve better. The real heroes and heroines of our country are every day figuring out how to take care of each other, reviving the deepest moral values of everybody in and nobody out.
It's no accident that the most disunited, the most disorganized, the most racially segregated, the most imprisoned, and the most disenfranchised section of the population is this bottom. It's no accident, it's the cornerstone of how the country is ruled.
When I travel across the country, I get to see how many people across all of these lines of division, whether it's around race or gender or sexuality, whether it's around religion or where people live, how people actually have a lot in common because folks are fed up with how things are right now.
Today we're dealing with a big problem.
That's right.
And to solve a big problem, you need a big solution. And when you're dealing with a social problem, you need to build a social movement.
And yo, we must rise together as offspring of immortals. Ancestors open portals, path balanced as we hold you. We know you have led us, the system has bled us. Suppression never lets a reason to, we have to get up and stand up for our rights. Hey. And stand up for your rights.
We can be the leaders that our society needs, and then just multiplying that across our communities and across our country.
And we're ready to carry on.
Until we have a beautiful networked movement of people leading the way towards justice.
We are the children of the ones.
In every community, there are people that are compelled to do something for their very survival in this moment. If we can connect up, then you have the basis of a powerful, bottom-up, pro-democracy, economically just movement. And that's what we're proposing in this survival revival.
Nobody's getting left behind this time. Nobody's getting left behind.
In the midst of the kind of hard times and difficult and dangerous times that we're living in, there's unbelievable hope.
Everybody ready? This is a call and response. I'm the call. Follow them for the response. There's a great trouble in the land.
We're gonna set it right again.
Got it? There's a great trouble in the land.
We're gonna set it right again.
There's a great trouble in the land.
We're gonna set it right again. We're gonna set it right again.
Yeah. Trouble's been brewing too many years.
We're gonna set it right again.
Trouble's been brewing too many years.
We're gonna set it right again.
Trouble's been brewing too many years.
We're gonna set it right again. We're gonna set it right again.
We need clean water and healthy food.
We're gonna set it right again.
We need clean water and healthy food.
We're gonna set it right again.
We need clean water and healthy food.
We're gonna set it right again. We're gonna set it right again.
We're building a movement family.
We're gonna set it right again.
Yes, we're building a movement family.
We're gonna set it right again.
Building a movement family.
We're gonna set it right again. We're gonna set it right again. We're gonna set it right again.
What are we gonna do?
We're gonna set it right
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome. Welcome, Jamal. You're on, baby.
Somebody say freedom.
Freedom!
Steph. Hit me one time. Somebody say freedom.
Freedom!
Lift your hands and say freedom. Hello, movement family. Peace be upon you. My name is Jamel Coy Hudson. Tonight we celebrate the launch of a powerful new book by our beloved Reverend Dr. Leslie O'Harris. Give her a round of applause. And her beloved co-author, where's my friend Noam? Give him a round of applause. Where's Brother Noam right there? Do me a favor. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, you only get what you're organized to take. I don't think they heard me. High five them, shake their hand like you're gonna shake it off and say, neighbor, you only get what you're organized to take. Tonight is not just about the book launch, it's about honoring a living legacy. It's about a legacy of poor and dispossessed people who have been organizing. And the organizing struggle that we all inherit, it goes back decades. No, it goes back centuries. It lifts up the stories of thousands of those who have, through resistance and through resolve, allowed us to be here today. We stand on the shoulders of giants, sheroes, and heroes. want to just tell you about a few folks. Some multiracial groups of unhoused people rising up from the streets, seizing empty federally owned homes. That's our movement. I want to talk to you tonight about mothers on welfare shutting down entire city blocks and going toe-to-toe with some of the most powerful politicians in the country. Those are our mothers. I want to tell you about farm workers who have been through union organizing, breaking modern-day slavery rings, and winning living wages from multinational fast food corporations. I want to talk to you about water defenders who have survived the poisoning of their communities and clandestinely turned on the water taps, even after the authorities have shut them off and poured cement over them. I want to talk to you tonight about coal miners and veterans. I see my brother Jose's in the house, and I make some noise for brother Jose. A warrior. Give some noise for a warrior. We're poor people, we're organizers, we're artists, all coming together in a bold and unexpected alliance. The powers to be don't want you and I and our fusion movement to be, but here we are. They don't want to see us organizing across lines of division, but here I stand with my sister, with my young brother, wherever he went. Good dog. Right? We are here tonight to declare that we, with our whole hearts, minds, and soul, are one, and that there is enough. We stand here today and decree that in this world of abundance, we don't have to just survive, but each of us should be able to thrive. That there are songs that rise up out of history that speak about this tradition. Songs of the poor and dispossessed coming together in Kensington, in Philadelphia, families in Mississippi, farm workers in Florida, houseless families in San Jose, California, all joining hands across geography and struggle, realizing that the same system that makes your children sick is the same system that makes my children sick. The same system that oppresses you, my brother oppresses you, my sister. And those interlocking injustices must be resisted from the north, from the south, to the east, to the west. I declare and decree victory and jubilee on this April day. Want to go out right now with a song. It's a song that many of us know. It's a song that many of us have raised our voice singing in the streets. It's a song that reminds us that when we come together, when we reject this death-dealing system, we take back our dignity, we take back our humanity, and we go down to the rich man's house.
Let's go.
I said we go down to the rich man's house, and we're going to take back what the rich man took from us, what he stole from us. So we're going to try this number out right now. Oh my God. All right. I went down to the rich man's house. I took back what he stole from me. I took back my dignity. I took back my humanity. Well, I went down to the rich man's house and I took back what he stole from me. I took back my dignity. Lift your voice. I took back. Whoa! It's under my feet. It's under my feet. It's under my feet. It's under my feet. Ain't gonna let no system walk all over me. I need you to do me a favor. Would you clap your hands one time? Come on, let's make some noise tonight. We want to have a night tonight where we declare and decree that we're going to go down to the rich man's house. We're going to take back our dignity. We're going to take back everything they stole from us. And we're going to organize ourselves as a unit, as one family, all of us children of Adam, all of us descending from a common source. You are my brother, you are my sister, and we have to work moving forward together, not one step back. We're going to sing this verse one more time, then we're going to shut this thing down. I want everybody to lift their voice as we go down to the rich man's house. Let's do it one time. Listen. I went down to the rich man's house. I took back what he stole from me. I took back my dignity. I took back my... I like that. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. I went down to the rich man's house. I took back what he stole from me. I took back my dignity. I took back my dignity. It's under my under my feet. It's under my feet. Ain't gonna let no sister walk all over. Say it again. No, no, no. Ain't gonna let no sister walk all over me. One more time. No, 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 no. Ain't gonna let no sister walk all over me. I want everybody to stand up, stand up, stand up. We are now going to invite your friend and mine, your sister, your brother and mine. A big round of applause for Reverend Dr. Liz Theo Harris. Brother Noam, give him a round of applause. Forward together, now one step back.
I mean, what's even left to say? We could just sing it all, which is what we're going to do this evening. Just want to thank folk for coming. It's really amazing to have people from lots of different parts of the movement, lots of different parts of life and the work. Many folks that are in this book who have made up the stories that are included, and then lots of folk that either were standing on their shoulders or they're not able to be here with us today. So just want to kind of acknowledge, I mean, we have amazing organizers in this room, folks who are taking over houses, folks that are organizing amongst veterans, folks that are organizing immigrants, folks that are standing for a nonviolent Medicaid army, and so many others that are really leading the way to change. And so thanks for being here. And I hope we have a powerful, I've been thinking of this as a concert. And so I want to also really thank Noam Sandweiss-Back, who was the brainchild of this book and the little engine that could with it, just completely convinced that we could tell some of these untold stories, and a real brilliant and beautiful writer and storyteller. And so please give it up to Noam, because he is amazing.
Good evening. You know, when I first started working with Liz in Kairos, I was 24 years old. I was as green as you could be. And now 8 years later, 32, maybe a little less green. But I think just even the arc of my own trajectory in this work, I was hired as Liz's assistant. And over the last 8 years have been fortunate enough to be offered different opportunities for leadership in this work, in this movement. And it's a testament to my mentor, Liz. And as many of you all know tonight, Liz is a woman of many talents, really one of the most talented organizers, I think, alive today. And one of Liz's unique capacities as a leader is her ability to develop the leaders around her. Yes. And I'm fortunate enough to have been mentored by Liz. And that's really, in so many ways, what this book is about. It's about the many leaders out there, the many leaders who have never been recognized in this country, the many leaders who have organized against and through intolerable conditions. You know, this book we started writing 3 years ago, when the world in many ways felt very different and in many ways felt the same. In sort of a basic way, this book is a book about myth busting. The first couple chapters takes on the myth that we can't end poverty. It takes on the myth that there is not enough in this country for everyone to live and thrive. It takes on the myth that poverty is an accidental, or incidental phenomenon in this country, separate from an economic process. It takes on the myth that poverty, or that poor folks are quote unquote crazy, lazy, and stupid, as so many folks have been told their entire lives. It takes on the myth that poverty is ordained by God. And it takes on the myth that poor folks and everyday people don't have the capacity to change their own lives and the lives of the nation. And really the rest of the book is our sustained rebuttal to that last myth. And we rebut that myth with stories of folks rising up and organizing really vast movements in this country and telling some of the stories that we believe need to be told. And those stories are just a fraction of the stories that could be told and I believe will be told in future books. And maybe there are writers in this room that will tell some of those stories as well. Just one last thing. We end the book with a chapter called Our Kairos Moment. You know, the Kairos Center draws its name from an old Greek word, kairos, which describes a particular moment in time that's ripe for transformation, and that moment of transformation only happens through decisive action. And we really believe that this is a moment that is a kairos moment. It's a moment when old ways of organizing society are falling apart. Institutions that have organized this society are no longer, command the legitimacy they once did, and new awakenings are being born. And one of the things about Kairos times is they don't promise progress necessarily. You know, what comes through a Kairos moment can be worse than what came before it. But it's a question about decisive action, and if there are those who are poised to take action during a Kairos moment, and so that also is what this book is about. So thanks for coming tonight. Thanks for coming to this concert.
It's like we came in hot. Maybe we should take a deep breath together and let it out. Go, ooh. Let's do one more. That felt good. Try it again. Take a deep breath together. Let it out. Ooh. Take another deep breath together. And let it out. Ooh. You only get what you're organized to take, which is the title of this book that we're all here to celebrate. But it's not just some words that go together really well. This is actually taken from a slogan from the National Union of the Homeless. We have two of our leaders, Reverend Savina, Martin, and Willie Baptist, who we'll get to. I feel so fortunate to be able to be in this movement and having leaders like you all who remind us of this. Because in these times that feel so dark sometimes, and like the crisis is too great, it's important that we remember that there's not going to be a hero from outside that's going to save us. The people in power aren't just going to have a bad dream, be visited by the ghosts of the past, present, and future, and wake up and realize all the wrong that they're doing and make it right. It truly is up to us to organize this system, organize this society in our image, for our needs, for the many. I want to read a little excerpt from this book here to get us in here. There is another National Union of the Homeless slogan that has echoed through the years. You only get what you're organized to take. This is a personal favorite because it expresses a core argument of the book. Poverty in this country will not end because the goodwill of those who hold political power and wealth, or through charitable actions of well-meaning and sympathetic people alone. A change of such scale requires a protagonist with a more pressing and compelling agenda. Poverty will end when poor people refuse to allow it to exist, when they and their allies refuse to allow society to be complacent about the death and suffering caused by economic deprivation. Poverty will end when poor people become a united and organized force, not just one action, one campaign, a political moment or election, but through a long-term human rights movement that can rally a critical mass of society to their cause and reorder the political and economic priorities of our nation. It is a simple and explosive idea. This is a good book, you should pick it up. If I could have our folks join us. And tonight we'll be singing, but this singing isn't about people performing on stage. Sharon often reminds us that when we sing together, this is science. We still care about science. When we sing together, our breaths become one. Our heartbeats start to sync. And so we're in the same place, in the same time together. And this is what is needed more than ever. It's not about how you sound, but who you're singing with. And so we want you to sing with us. And we want to go into this song. We're going to share a little bit how this song goes so that you all can sing it with us, okay? So repeat after me. Hey na na, yeah. Hey na na, yeah. Oh, let's try this. Hey na na, yeah. Hey na na, yeah. It's a little long, but try it. Hey na na, 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 yeah. Concert, it's a party of sorts, and so we're going to use this, okay? So let's try this. Hey na na, yeah. Together. Hey na na, yeah. Hey na na, 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 yeah. Again. Try this out with me. You only get what you're organized to say. 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 Bring it back. Hey na na, yeah. Hey na na, Liberation today. Liberation today. Liberation today. Back to the top. Hey na na, yeah. Hey na na, survive. This is very
take. You only get what you organize to take. You only get what you organize to take. You only get what you organize to take.
Last time you only get
what you organize to take. You only get what you organize to take. You only get what you organize to take. You only get what you organize to take.
Into this legacy that we are promising to be a part of. Lifting up the importance of our movement elders, the lessons and the wisdom that we must continue to carry forward. And I wanted to begin by sharing a passage from the book, though I'm not quite as snazzy as Sierra over there. I don't have the book, but I do have the quote here. And this comes from Liz reflecting on her early days of organizing in Kensington, Philadelphia. She says, helping me learn these and other lessons were seasoned organizers and movement elders with lifetimes of experience. Even as I ran ragged around Kensington, they made sure I maintained a wider view of what we were undertaking. They encouraged me to see our projects of survival. You'll hear that word a few times tonight, just so you know. They encouraged me to see our projects of survival not only as communal acts of care, but as radical forms of nonviolent civil disobedience. In a society that criminalizes homelessness and valorizes property over people, taking over empty federal-owned homes, an abandoned industrial lot, and an old empty church was a direct challenge to the morally distorted order of the day. As a young organizer, I found it undeniably powerful to situate our actions within a long and noble tradition of nonviolent resistance among the poor and dispossessed of this country. And the longer I worked in Kensington, the more I began to see that our efforts were just one bright star in a much larger and older constellation of organizing and movement building. So I wanted to call Reverend Liz back to the stage for a moment to introduce two of our movement elders that are with us tonight.
It is my distinct honor. I feel so full. It is my distinct honor to introduce and welcome two of the people that have been most foundational, most formative in my life, in the lives of millions of people in these yet-to-be United States. And so if Willie Baptist and Savina Martin could come on up. Perhaps they'll have a chance to say a little bit about their long lives of organizing, or as Mrs. Rosa Parks always said, their long lives of being rebellious, because these two have really contributed just untold knowledge and commitment, consciousness, capacity, and connection. And so I wanted to give you both a stole.
Always wanted to be a preacher.
if there was a moral leader that has had more of an impact, there is no one other than Minister Willie Baptist. And I wanted to give this to Minister Savina Martin, who embodies what we both learned from Reverend Dr. Yvonne Delk, that poor people are not sinners, but that poverty indeed is a sin. So just a little more love for these two, because they are amazing.
To all of us that have stood the course of time. My movement family, this is a very special day to be here in Union, back at Union again. I remember the emails from my dear Sharon talking about arts and culture. Huh? Oh. just so many voices I'm hearing today. And when you all were singing, you only get what you organized to take. I saw Casanova. I saw Leona Smith, Diane Johnson, say their names. Chris Bro, who founded the Committee for Dignity and Fairness in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, which was our base of operation, and our dear Liz. So young. We're still young. I don't want to go there, but we're still there. Real quick, we were held up. You know this is a we movement. We all have our personal lived stories, but I'm at the we right now, because if it wasn't for the we, I wouldn't be here. We were held up organizing and strategizing, sitting on the floor in an abandoned building overlooking the Ben Franklin Bridge. When 3 towering people walked in, I was sitting on the floor just trying to figure it all out. A young veteran running out of the military, a mom who had delivered her son and went straight into the shelter, 1985, and had no idea what the heck was going on. But these 3 people came in, and one's name was Willie Baptist, my brother. And it was that still small voice, I'm pretty sure all of you hear, because we're here, that said, and it was a negative, you will die here. You're gonna die here. But it wasn't bad. I wasn't scared. But many years later, wow, it's been so long, I understood what that small voice was. And it's all of the leaders that are committed and conscious, connected, and understand, that's just a couple of the C's that we say, that dedicate their lives to laying our bodies on the line, because we will no longer be exploited, we will no longer be criminalized, and we are here tonight because we are organizing we are only organizing to take back what's ours. And those are the many slogans and the chants that we marched into the hut office with and were dragged out. Let me hear, brother.
Thank you. You know, one thing that we participated in is I think is groundbreaking when you look in history of this country. For the first time in the history of this country, in the mid-'80s on into the '90s, you had poor and homeless folks organizing themselves throughout the country. At the height of our organizing, we had organized some 25 locals in 25 states. We had upwards of 25,000 to 35,000 members. This is homeless women and homeless men organizing themselves.
And what that really showed us as we went throughout the country, and we came to the church over there, Riverside, the famous Riverside Church. We had over 1,200 delegates that we combed every nook and cranny of the city, and we founded the local New York Homeless Union. Had over 100 delegates in the church in LA, and also in Chicago, we had over 900. This is homeless men, women, and their children organizing themselves. And what this taught me is that we, who are poor and dispossessed, who resides at the bottom, the least of these, we can speak for ourselves, we can think for ourselves, we can fight for ourselves, we can organize ourselves, and we can lead not only ourselves, but the nation. If this country is going to change, it has to change from the bottom up. Not from the top down, not from the middle up, but from the bottom up, from the least of these. People hear what I'm trying to say? Freedom ain't free. That's a lesson of history, and certainly a lesson of our experience. Y'all gonna have to excuse me, but my name is Baptist, and I tend to want to preach, and I'm a frustrated preacher anyway, so I'm gonna try to keep my message very short, but I want to make a few points that freedom ain't free. If people give you something, they can take it back. They give you with power. You don't have the power. They can take it back. Power comes from organization. The title of this book, You Only Get What You Organize to Take, resonates throughout all of human history. You got to take that freedom if you're going to get that freedom. I want to say this, and I'll shut up, because I want to talk about just two lessons that we had among many lessons that we learned in the 10-year organizing that we did, homeless folks. And one of the main lessons is that Muhammad has to go to the mountain. The mountain is the people. The mountain ain't never came from Muhammad. Muhammad got to go to the people. So if you're a leader, if you're an organizer, you're a teacher, you got to go to the people. You got to engage the people for where they're at.
Tell them.
So this is a very important lesson that we learned from those years of organizing, that Muhammad has to go to the mountain. There's a lot of conferences that are held about the mountain. Fly over the mountain and say, oh, those people down there are hurting down there. But you got to engage the people to organize the people. This is a very important point. And two stories that brings this out, and I'll shut up, I promise. When we went into Chicago to launch the organizing drive for 2 to 3 month organizing, we brought homeless folks from all the different shelters and throughout the country. And we talked about what are some of the problems and issues that confronts them, and what issues that we should start off with in terms of the launching of that organizing drive in Chicago. We had people from the Coalition for the Homeless and other groupings that was there. They were conducting campaigns. They had a lobbying campaign. The Coalition for the Homeless had a lobbying campaign in Springfield, Illinois, around housing, and they said that they had buses and they can take us to Springfield to help give strength to that lobbying effort. So we heard that, and we heard other suggestions, but what turned out to be the issue or the problem that really agitated people was the fact that homeless folks throughout the city of Philadelphia, Chicago, had to get up every morning to get in line from 5 to 7 a.m. to get 5 sheets of toilet paper. They knew that they were living in shelters because they were homeless. They were homeless because of the job situation and the wages that they were receiving. They couldn't afford rent. They knew why they were having the problem of homelessness and knew why they was in the shelter. But the problem that was an issue that most agitated them was they had to suffer the human indignities of getting in line to get 5 sheets of toilet paper. That was the issue that we had to start with. We didn't stop there, but we had to start with. And the lesson here is that if you're going to have an intellectualism, if you're going to have a scholarship, if you're going to have a way of thinking, it's got to be engaged.
Well,
It's got to be engaged. It can't be like Nero fiddling while Rome is burning. We got to go into Rome.
talk to him. Talk to him.
Those people to find out what is it that we can organize and move people on. And that tissue issue was what we started off with. The last point, at our height in our organizing, the most impactful moments of our organizing was synchronized housing takeovers, as was mentioned. We had several of them throughout the country, and people couldn't ignore us. In fact, Chris Rowe, who was our lead organizer, he was selected by USA Today as one of the top 10 new leaders arising in the country. This is a black homeless individual who, because of our agitation and our organizing and our protests, we was able to get that kind of notice in terms of him being selected to be an upcoming leader. And indeed, Chris Rowe was a genius among us. But anyway, in carrying out that housing takeover, the lesson here is that in engaging the poor and the homeless, what we did was to find out what they were having to do under very desperate conditions, especially going into the winter where 700 to 1,000 people freeze to death in the richest country in the world, that people are having to be forced to move into, illegally, empty buildings and housing. This was happening throughout the whole country. So when we summed it up, we decided to take up the synchronized housing takeover. In other words, we gave consciousness and organization to what people were already doing. So if you're going to organize anybody, particularly the bottom, you got to deal with where people are at. Mohammed got to go to the mountain.
That's right.
People hear me? Okay, this is explosive time, and there's 3 things that our experience tells us that we have to do in explosive time. And everybody sensed that these times are going to be very dangerous, very explosive. People got the notebook and pen. 3 things. Number 1, organization. Number 2, organization.
Come on, somebody.
Number 2, 3, organization.
Give the book to your neighbors and everybody in your community. Thank you, Reverend Liz.
Thank you, Willie and Sabina. You brought me up in this movement. I'm so grateful to have the wisdom, the lessons, and the continued vision that we so need in this moment. And we wanted to take a little time in this moment of the evening to lift up some of the leaders that you all brought into this space, those that have come before us. We're gathered in this sacred space, a space that has been a seedbed for social justice. And we want to lift up our fallen fighters. Some of you were able to write some names down to add to the list and to the memories that we want to bring into this space before, because we know that those that have come before us have been in these struggles. And we need their energy, their spirit, their lessons now. If we want to take a look at the altar as you came in or now, you can see that we've dedicated this evening to those leaders, freedom fighters, abolitionists like Harriet Tubman, heroine of the coal miners' struggles, Florence Reese, fierce welfare mothers like Johnny Tillman, trailblazing trans rights activist Marsha P. Johnson, outspoken archbishop who stood on the side of the poor and against war, St. Oscar Romero, artist and tireless organizer in the Homeless Union, Ronald Casanova, and so many others that have come before us. And this evening, I wanted to lift up and pay special tribute to two of our movement ancestors and personal mentors of mine who passed away in these last 2 months. The Reverend Nelson Johnson of the beloved Community Center in Greensboro, North Carolina. And from right here in New York City, Jean Rice, homeless organizer with Picture the Homeless. They taught me so much about what it means to be a clear, a competent, and committed leader that is in this struggle for the long haul. This movement to end poverty, this movement to end its interlocking injustices. And we're here because leaders like Reverend Nelson and Jean paved the way for us. And now it's our time to take up that mantle. And we say, with them, they and we are comrades. We are chosen family in this struggle. We're going to ask you to sing that with us, and Jonathan is going to lead us.
I believe and I receive. Time will leave and time will grieve. Every day I see your light. Every day I see your light. We will never compromise, and we will always be surprised, 'cause you are everything to me. Always put your strength in me. Come right. I will deem you comrade. I will deem you comrade. Because we are connected. Because we are connected. Comrade. I will deem you comrade. Because we are connected. Angel called me in the middle of the night. World was paused, it wasn't right. Anxiety flew through the sky. Death came whispering in disguise. Chosen, I will call you chosen. I will call you chosen. Chosen family. Chosen family. Everybody say chosen. Chosen. I will call you chosen. I will call you chosen. Chosen family. Chosen family. Say comrade. Comrade. Do you have any comrades in here tonight? We have to deem each other comrade tonight. I will deem you comrade. Because we are connected. Because we are connected. Chosen. Chosen. I will call you chosen. I will call you chosen. Why? Because we're connected.
Because we are connected.
Because we
are connected.
Cut the music, cut the music. Say, comrade. Comrade, I will deem you comrade. I will deem you comrade. Because we are connected.
Because we are connected.
One last time, comrade. Comrade, I will deem you comrade, and I will deem you comrade, because we are connected.
Because we are connected.
Take a deep breath in. Exhale together. Another deep breath in. Exhale together. Clap it up for yourselves. You sound beautiful.
Stay up. You can stay up. Oh, no, stay up. Yeah. We have a new member here. Hello? As we entered this evening into the space, you were invited, though we only got a few, so it's something you still have to do. To respond to this prompt, I am organizing to. You said, I'm organizing to fight to protect our democracy from authoritarians and tyrants. I'm organizing to win social justice, peace, and environmental sanity. I'm organizing to make sure everyone in my community has enough to eat. These words are your words. And they've been brought together with those who came before us. I'm organizing to remind people of what they deserve. Of dignity, safety, clean water, affordable housing, no bombs, quality education, living wages. We deserve it all. Thank you, Missouri. On point, that 2-year-old there. That's how we do it. These words, those words, are living testimony. The dreams we carry of the communities we fight to protect, and of our shared commitment to act, so that every person, no matter their circumstance, has the right to live, to thrive, and to be free. We lift up our fallen fighters tonight, not just in memory, but in movement. Their lives and lessons, their courage live in us. These are dark times for many in our communities. But as we reflect on those who came before us, on their wisdom, their struggle, and their endurance, we remember we are part of something much larger, something much older, a constellation of resistance, an imagination that spans generations, and that we in this room are made for times such as this. So you're gonna sing with us tonight. Maybe we can stand for a moment, just to feel each other's presence, if you're able. give up hope. We were made for these times. We can't lose heart. We were made for these times. And in these times like these, we can come together and we will continue to march. We will continue to fight for freedom and for justice.
Don't give up hope. We were made for these times. Don't give up hope. We were made for these times. Don't give up hope. We were made for these times. Show your soul, it shines like gold in these dark times. You got that now. Don't give up hope. We were made for these times. No, don't give up hope. We were made for these times. Don't give up hope. We were made for these times. Show your soul, it shines like gold in these dark times. Don't give up hope. We were made for these times. We were made for this. Don't give up hope. We were made for these. We were made for this. Don't give up hope. We were made for these. We were made for this. Show your soul, it shines like gold in these dark times. Don't give up hope. We were made for this. We were made for this. Don't give up hope. We were made for this. We were made for this. Don't give up hope. We were made for this. We were made for this. Your soul, it shines like gold in these dark times. No bruised heart. We were made for this. We were made for this. No bruised heart. We were made for this. We were made for this. No bruised heart. We were made for this. We were made for this. Your soul, it shines like gold in these dark times. We're marching for freedom. We're marching for freedom. We were made for these times. We're marching for freedom. We were made for these times. We're marching for freedom. We were made for these times. Your soul, it shines like gold in these dark times. We're fighting for justice.
Hi, everybody. Hi. I'm Shally Gupta Barnes, and I've been a part of this movement for almost 2 decades. And I know many of us here, we kind of believe in our core, we know it to be true, that we were made for these times. And yet we may question ourselves and wonder what that even means, as every day the many crises around us are getting worse, day by day. What does it mean to be made for these times? And if we look back at what's happened, what's come before us in other periods of crisis and social change, to be made for these times is not only about believing that better days are possible and being resilient in the face of cruelty and oppression, it's about building the kind of power that makes that possibility real. Yes. It's organize, organize, organize. Yes. This takes time, far more time than what it takes to organize one march or one action or one organizing drive or one election. It could take months, it could take years of building back community and infrastructure and networks, gaining ground that we've lost, and really, really fighting for a society where everybody is in and nobody is out. That's right. Where everybody is in and nobody is out. That's right. And as bad as things are right now, in the midst of all this upheaval and cruelty and violence, we are seeing this possibility, are we not? We are. As people are compelled to take action, as people are compelled to move and express our values in town halls, in legislatures, in the courts, in the streets, and also, although it's less visible, in our communities, right? In churches and in faith communities, in schools, in libraries, in parking lots, wherever people can gather to do that day-to-day work of making sure that we're okay. This work of survival organizing. My kids are all in New York City public schools. And we're figuring out at our elementary school how to make sure that our families are safe as possible from detention, from family separation, from losing their jobs or health care or food programs if and when they're cut back. I was talking to a friend who was telling me about Lexington, people out in Lexington who've been protesting 3, 4, 5 days in a row and asking, 3, 4, 5 days a week, and asking what more can we do, because more is necessary. We know that more is necessary. And within a matter of days, there are these new networks of care and mutual aid emerging. People are sharing food, they're figuring out childcare, they're doing home repairs, interpretation, art together. People are building community around whatever it means to be human. Right? And this too is an act of resistance and protest against those that will deny us, any of us, our humanity. That's right. And these actions are also the expressions of the society that we know we deserve and we know is possible, where all of our needs are met, where our elected officials are accountable to meeting those needs, and we can be as we were meant to be, right? As the beautiful, perfectly imperfect divine creatures that we are. Come on. So when networked, when scaled up, when politicized, these projects of survival have been the cornerstone of powerful political organizing and social movements, right? We know this to be true, we've heard it already. But when we think about, for instance, the abolitionist movement or the Underground Railroad, we think of these big arrows of motion of people moving from south to north. And if we looked closer, each of those arrows were made up of hundreds and thousands of people, led by formerly enslaved people and then many, many others, making the everyday actions of providing food, shelter, water, care, medical care, documentation, transportation, making these ordinary actions extraordinary by connecting, by communicating their lessons through story and song and sermons and art and so much more. And all of this together, that's what created the possibility of even greater action, of even larger forms of resistance, providing direction and momentum to the entire abolitionist movement. These efforts, and we see this throughout history, right? The great exodus of the Hebrew Bible, the salt marches in India, the anti-apartheid and freedom movements in South Africa and Latin America and Europe, movements in this country for our rights and liberties, for justice and peace, these have all been anchored in survival and revival, in meeting needs and building power at the same time. And so this is why tonight, as we are celebrating and releasing this beautiful book and chronicle of contemporary history and organizing, we are also kicking off our Survival Revival organizing tour. So in the coming weeks, we'll be connecting with communities that are engaging in all kinds of protest and resistance, in the small, beautiful ways we care for each other, and the big ways that may get more attention or may not get more attention. And we will lift up these stories of survival and lessons of revival for these times, that were made in these times, for these times. And so, okay, Pauline, this is going to take all of us here and many, many more who aren't here, who we're connected to, people who are not connected to yet. And so I'm going to bring on Pauline Paisano, who will lead us in a song. It's another call and response to call you into this organizing drive, to call us all into this organizing drive together, to move us from the mean things that are happening right now, to the good things that we know are possible.
So can you say this with me? There are mean things happening in this land.
Happening in this land.
There are mean things happening in this land.
There are mean things happening in this land.
But the movement's going on.
Movement's going on.
And the movement's growing strong. Because there are mean things happening in this land. There are mean things happening in this land. Can you try that with me? There are mean things happening in this land. There are mean things happening in this land. There are mean things happening in this land. But the movement's going on, and the movement's growing strong. 'Cause there are mean things happening in this land. So I want to call in to Pella Mohaki from Abahali, who said, we need to build a caring society. And to do that, we must share our pain. All of us in this room are in pain. We are aware of what is happening. Who here is being affected by these cuts? Who here is waking up and being afraid that Social Security is going to be gone? Medicaid is going to be gone. Healthcare is going to be gone. Housing First programs are now just being wiped away state by state in the federal level. And that's because the rich man's profits soar. So the poor pay more and more. So those rich men profits soar as the poor pay more and more. There are mean things happening in this land. Let's get real clear. 'Cause the rich man's profits soar, so the poor pay more and more. There are mean things happening in this land. And we are losing access to our rights. We are losing access. We are losing access to trans affirmation treatments, to reproductive health. What else are we losing access to? What are we losing access to?
Education.
Healthcare. Our bodies. Our bodies. So to serve the rich man's bottom line, our health and bodies are on the line. There are mean things happening in this land. To serve the rich man's bottom line. To serve the rich man's bottom line. Our health and bodies are on the line. 'Cause there are mean things happening in this land. And now we're facing the criminalization of humanity. The criminalization of the poor. We're facing the fear of mass deportations, which is nothing new, but it's just getting ramped up. And it's all because those wealthy billionaires with debt and suffering everywhere, there are mean things in this land. Will you sing that with me? Oh, those wealthy billionaires, the debt and suffering everywhere. There are mean things happening in this land. 'Cause those wealthy billionaires, debt and suffering everywhere. are fighters. We believe in the struggle. We were made for these times, at times like this. And so, there will be good things in this land.
There'll be good things, yeah.
There will be, tell your friends, there's going to be good things in this land. Because we are organizing. Organize, organize, organize.
Organize, organize, organize.
We're going to change our pain to be a powerful social force. We have the self-respect in this room to make the world better for everybody in this room. 'Cause democracy is right, and we won't give up the fight. 'Cause there'll be good things happening in this land. Will you sing that with me? Because democracy's alright, and we won't give up the fight. 'Cause there'll be good things happening in this land. So this amazing report that Shally has, this amazing book that we have coming out, it talks about these projects of survival, how we, against all odds, are gonna meet each other's needs. And I know that people I look up to are in this room. Will you shout out what you're working on right now? Who's working on a project of survival? Raise your hand. Who's working on meeting people's needs? You got it, yes. We are working on feeding people. There'll be good things happening in this land. Supportive housing and migrant rights. We got the Poor People's Campaign, Poor People's Movements. Because when the dispossessed unite, the end of poverty is in sight. Will you sing that with me? When the dispossessed unite, the end of poverty is in sight. There'll be good things happening in this. So I want to ask you all, if you can use your feet, if you can clap your hands, we're going to bring the good things. 'Cause when the dispossessed unite, the end of poverty is in sight. When the dispossessed unite, the end of poverty is in sight. When the dispossessed unite, the end of poverty is in sight. When the dispossessed unite, the end of poverty is in sight. When the dispossessed unite, the end of poverty is in sight. And there'll be good things happening in this. Good things happening. There'll be, come on, good things happening in this. There'll be good things happening in this. There'll be good things Organize, organize, organize.
I'm ready for some good things. That was pretty good. So we're almost at the end of our celebration this evening. But as we commit to bringing good things, not bad things like eviction, not bad things like deportation. Good things, not bad things like banning gender-affirming care, not bad things like systemic racism and taking Harriet Tubman off the National Park website. Good things like people in this room coming together and banding together. Good things like our mentors, those that have come before. Good things like family. Chris Crusoe, I love you. You are my hero. And thank you. And thank you, family. So we have a lot of work to do. There are some really mean things happening in this land. And some of them aren't new, and some of them are. And it's going to take a long, hard fight. But I feel like we're signing some people up. So we got a couple folks that want to do a little pitch. Get involved. Be a part of this survival revival. Be a part of a movement that gets what we organize to take. So I want to call my colleague Stash Kotler up, and then my colleague Jose Vasquez up after Stash to share a little bit of I don't know, it's a kind of a, in my tradition, a come to Jesus moment, but Stash, you're from a different tradition. So, but thanks for coming and being a part of this, and thanks everyone for being a part.
Yes.
Hey everyone. Okay, I know it's getting late, but hey everyone. Hi! Okay, that's better. First of all, that music, I just want to say thank you. That was beautiful. And the art is amazing, and the food is amazing, and the kids running around are amazing, and I want to say, like, this is medicine, like deep nourishment, and it is so Kairos. It is so through and through who Kairos is. So my name is Stash. I've been part of the Multi-Faith Movement for Justice for a long time, and got to know Liz and Noam when we worked on a project that's now called All of Us, an initiative to counter white Christian nationalism. Light topic. So I got to be with them as they were writing this book. So first, I just want to say again, Mazel Tov. Mazel Tov. Congratulations on an incredible accomplishment. And I don't know about many of you, but for me, like, writing a book is a big deal. Like, not everyone does that. I know Liz has done that several times, but lots of people don't write books. So it would have been enough for you to tell these beautiful stories and to have us learn from the wisdom of other people who are organizing and have been organizing for generations. But it wasn't just that it's a book. We know it represents decades and decades of hard, loving, prayerful work. And that is not just on the two of you, but all of the people that you were able to meet and lift up their stories. So in addition to that, I'm going to wrap it up in just a moment because I know I'm going to do a little pitch and this has to be fast, but I'm not going to reiterate the times that we're in. This poly-crisis is no joke. And what Kairos is doing when you're in the Kairos space, it may not seem unusual, but as someone who's organized most of my life outside of organizing with Kairos, organizing looks and feels very different. And so what you are putting out into the world, the idea that people who we've been taught to think of as ones who have been left behind and should be left behind are organizing themselves, and you're lifting that up. Organizing with spiritual rootedness at its core, and taking that as a given to understand how powerful we can be when we harness that energy. Attending to people's material needs in a way that is immediate but also builds infrastructure in our communities. And then also organizing in places that may not be winnable electorally in a decade or in a generation or maybe ever, but not forgetting that there are people there who want to organize and who are organizing, and we can't leave those places behind. So for all of those reasons, I genuinely think that Kairos is offering a blueprint for any of us who can hear the call to listen to and follow. I will follow you anywhere, forever, Liz. Truly. And Noam, I love you. I love you too. I love you. I learned from you so much. For anyone here who hasn't bought the book, time to buy the book. For anyone who's definitely not going to buy it on Amazon, because that's not what we're going to do, we do want you to leave a review on Amazon. And there's going to be a book tour coming around the country. So if there's a way that you have friends and family and you can turn them out to come join the book tour, please do. And then if you have the capacity to make a financial gift, and particularly if you have the financial capacity and you know other people that do, relationships with fundraising is everything. So please do consider making a gift yourself. And also, if you have relationships, please introduce the Kairos team to those folks. Thank you so much for everything, Kairos, every single person who's connected to Kairos, and congratulations again.
I think that was my first standing O, so appreciate that. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Jose Vasquez. I am the executive director of an amazing organization called Common Defense. We organize veterans across the country. Some of my colleagues are sprinkled throughout here, including Janice, Stephanie in the back, Lena, who's currently on a Zoom call. The work never stops, y'all. But you know, I think part of why I got a standing O is because about 6 weeks ago I was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, so which is one of the deadliest forms of cancer that one can get. But I was fortunate because how the tumor grew, it blocked my bile duct and then created all these other symptoms that made me go to the VA and say, you know, why is my urine orange and my skin turning yellow? We've been through a lot in the last 6 weeks, but I'm here.
Testify.
And so that's just like one example of the kind of resilience that our communities have been exhibiting.
That's right.
As long as we've been communities.
Yes.
And so much was shared tonight. I definitely had to fight back tears. You know, the songs were moving, a lot of the things that folks said. You know, many people that I consider mentors are here in the room. I went to grad school with Chris many moons ago and hosted him and Liz in my previous backyard. So we go way back. And so there's a lot of themes that are coming up for me. Family is one of them. Obviously organizing, mentorship, resilience, and you know, the book is called You Only Get What You're Organized to Take. It's not what you're organized to ask for, to plead for. It's to fucking take it. To take it.
Talk to him.
Because it was already ours to begin with.
That's right. Talk to him.
And that there's not a lack of resources in this country. There's a lack of leadership. There's a lack of vision. There's a lack of morality in this country. So the people that are at the top are afraid of what we're doing here. And this is happening all over the country.
That's right.
Liz and I are very close in age, but I see her as a mentor. I've learned so much just being around Kairos, just sitting in the audience, learning about poor people's movements, welfare recipients organizing themselves, homeless folks organizing themselves. I've heard Willie's stories many times. The same stories, and I'm just as like at the edge of my seat every time he tells the same story about the goose. So, you know, I was asked to give a pitch about the survival revivals, but I'm kind of preaching to the choir here, right? But I think that, you know, get the book, tell other folks about the book, organize readings of the book, show up for the various events that are happening across the country, and organize your own if there isn't one happening near you, or if you know somebody who could really benefit from having Liz and Noam and the whole singing crew come out. Because, you know, we're not only organizing, but we're bringing love and joy to this movement. That's what helps sustain the movement, is to like each one reach one and teach somebody about how this movement has changed your life, right? Because it certainly has changed mine.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. I bet you can figure that part out, all right? This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This here voice of mine is singing songs for freedom, and it won't stop till freedom comes. Got it? All right, let's go. This here voice of mine is for singing songs of freedom. This here voice of mine is for singing songs of freedom. Oh, this here voice of mine is for singing songs of freedom, and I won't stop till freedom.
Yo, I have to intervene for 1 second. Yo, this is our closing song for the night. If you're able, I need you to stand up. Lift our voices loud. We need to go out shining our lights tonight. Because everyone else out there needs the kind of spirit that we had in this place tonight. And I need you to bring that to everyone in your community. All right, I'll turn it back to y'all.
This here heart of mine is beating for survival. Oh, no, hands. Ha. These here hands of mine are for helping out my neighbor, all right?
No matter how, help them now. Here we go. These here hands of mine, helping out my neighbor.
These here hands of mine are for helping out my neighbor.
These here hands of mine are helping out my neighbor. These here hands of mine are for helping out my neighbor. No matter who, no matter how, help them now.
This here heart of mine is beating for survival, and it won't stop till justice comes. Come on. This here heart of mine
It's beating for survival. This here heart of mine is beating for survival. This here heart of mine is beating for survival, and it won't stop till justice comes.
These here feet of mine are marching for justice. And here they go on the road to
Revival.
All right, here we go. All right.
These here feet of mine are marching for justice. These here feet of mine are marching for justice. These here feet of mine are marching for justice. And it goes on the road to revival.
This here faith of mine mine is
Calling for revival. This here faith of mine is calling for revival. Oh, this here faith of mine is calling for revival. Calling out, calling out, calling out.
Come on, this little light of mine.